Hey everyone, it's Aisha White, and I am here today with a special guest. I'm here with Will, also known as my little brother. You want to say hey to everybody?
Hey, what's up, you guys? How you guys doing?
So, like I say, he's my little brother. I think that we are pretty close. We're 4 years apart, but we're pretty close. We bond over some shared interests.
Yeah.
Will is a creative, so he creates art, he paints, he writes, he does some poetry, some freestyling, just kind of all the things you can think of. And as the older sister, I would like to take credit and say that, I am the one that kind of put him on to these type of creative endeavors, but I can't really take the credit for his talent, so, I'm here to talk to Will today about communication when it comes to thoughts and expressions of emotions, particularly from a male point of view. Sometimes we see each other after work and we talk about just insightful things when it comes to relationships and friendships and all kinds of things. And I was like, these are really good conversations. We should probably record something like this, and now this gives us a platform to talk about it, and hopefully it'll go outside the walls of a home and go out into the internet and maybe be able to help somebody else. So
Seriously?
yeah, we'll see. So, Will, what role would you say art plays in your life? So you can tell me, when you first started creating art, what inspires you, and just, how you go about creative endeavors.
So I think art, with it is what like the way it inspires me. I think with art is just a great way to express yourself. So, like if I were down now, whether it were a breakup that I was going through, or maybe I was just reminiscing on past friendships that ended, or thinking about things just in my own life, like maybe mental battles that I went through myself, throughout childhood or when I got older and things not really like panning out the way I saw them. Like, when you're younger, you think like, oh, by this age I'm gonna be in college, by this age I'm gonna have a job, I'm gonna be rolling around in my own car, I'm gonna have all this money, be doing all this different stuff. And sometimes things don't exactly pan out the way they're supposed to. So just adjusting to things as you're getting older, I think that a lot of times, sometimes I would sit back and reflect on my life. So it didn't, I guess with art, I would use art as a way to express basically whatever I was going through. So whether it was something that I was going through at the moment, or whether it was something that I was just reminiscing about, like childhood, past friendships, past relationships, or whether it was me doing art in the midst of going through a friendship ending or a relationship ending, or whether it was me having troubles at my job, or wrestling with things at school, or internal things or battles that I may have been going through because of friendships ending or relationships ending or jobs and whatnot, or just everybody has their opinion on their opinion towards their dynamic with family or with friends, or like your relationship with God, or things of that nature. And I feel like in that, like in thinking about that, you need a way to express how you feel. Otherwise, it's just being bottled up. Yeah. So I feel like with art, it was definitely a way to reflect how I felt. So I've done a little bit of everything. I mostly draw people. You've seen my artwork, so I do like the heads, or I'll do. I've done a few abstract pieces. So it kind of just like, when I'm in the moment, whatever I'm reminiscing on, that's what inspires me with whatever piece of art that I do. So I do a lot of artwork. Like it looks gory. It's like severed heads, but it's just because I'm good at drawing faces, and it's like my little twist to my artwork. Like for a minute, I went through a while where I was kind of like overcoming a lot of like pain and different things like that from, I guess, feeling rejected growing up, like having a different lifestyle than others, because father is a pastor, mother is a prophetess. So it was just my view on things was different growing up. Then also it was just my sense of humor being the youngest of out of four of us kids, and so my sense of humor was like more mature than the other kids my age. So a lot of times then I'm just really silly too, and I think being at home with the siblings, I was able to just wild out and be the youngest and be crazy, and like everybody just like okay whatever, and they just laugh. But at school, you know, it's like we're all peers of the same age, so if I'm wilding out, they just like what's up with you? So it was just like I always like kind of feeling that difference between me and other people, and then with a ton of other differences that I had as well. But just those differences that I had that separated me from other children, like my peers growing up. I think what was my point? Like I think that a lot of the differences and stuff like that kind of led me to feeling rejected, or like I was kind of sitting on the outside watching everybody else. So a lot of my artwork was kind of rooted in that for a minute when I was drawing like severed heads, and I would have them like crying blood, and it sounded gory, but what I was trying to I guess express was like somebody letting out pain. You know what I'm saying? So they were crying it out, like they were letting it out. So that's why I would paint those pictures. And then also it was kind of like the reason I would do it, like I would show someone like crying out blood, and they may look like, you know, ugly, you know, when you're looking at the face that I draw. But it was almost kind of as well showing the beauty that can come out of a bad situation. So feeling rejected at those times due to the differences between me and my peers, it enabled me to have more time alone to where I could reflect now on myself. And that time actually helped me. It helped me to realize who I was. Because I knew that I was different, so the other kids called me weird or whatever the case may be, or you know the girls weren't interested in me because I was like the weird kid and all that. And then also like battling obesity and stuff like that, like you know just being a chubby little kid growing up, you know, so like fat jokes and stuff like that. So just having all that, it separated me, and then I was like, okay, well, at that time I didn't know it was God, but it was God putting that in my brain. But I just heard something in me always telling me like, if they're not gonna encourage you, encourage yourself. So in that time, I used that time to encourage myself, and then encouraging myself, I became a stronger person. So then I just became mentally stronger. I became sharper. I had thick skin. Just a lot of things came out of that. So someone else, I feel like either you can give in or you can go ahead and find your own way. So some people, they may give in to people talking about them or making them feel like a reject, but you know, thankfully for me, I had God pushing me to encourage myself. So I turned the situation around. I flipped it when I was younger growing up. And I still do that to this day. So even in my artwork, it was showing how, you know, this character may look ugly and they may be crying out this blood and stuff. But it's like, there's some beauty in that. Like, there's some beauty in that pain. Yeah. There's some beauty in that. So it's like, they're releasing it. You know what I'm saying? Or it might be like, I'll draw a character that looks, you know, beautiful, and they're smiling, but they're crying blood. So it's showing you like there's beauty in that, and the pain is coming out. So right offhand, it looks gory, but you know, in actuality, like it definitely has meaning. So I think my artwork always has just been me expressing how I felt on the inside. You know what I'm saying? What people can't see. And a lot of times, I feel like as an artist, that's what throws people off, because they see your art and they don't get it, and they're trying to understand it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. It's like what you can't express in words sometimes, you put it in art form. So I feel like that's the beautiful thing about artwork, is like it's such an expression, you know, because there are all types of ways to like relieve stress and express yourself, like whether it's working out and you getting your body to a certain point, you know what I'm saying, from where it used to be. And you can show people your before picture and then show people your after picture, and you can be like, okay, well, I wanted to be an active person. I wanted to climb mountains. I wanted to fit in clothes and walk on runways. But I looked like this before. And I was suffering, and I was eating and binge eating to like help, you know, try to help like get rid of those negative feelings. But really it was hurting you in the end. So then it's like you working out is you expressing pretty much who you want to be, who you want to become. So then you go into the gym faithfully and eating right faithfully, and people seeing you do that. They see you cooking the meals. They see you eating the stuff. The people that work at the gym, even when you don't think nobody's watching you or looking, the people that work at the gym see you coming in. They're checking you in all the time. You're a regular. You're showing those people. You're expressing what you can't really say in words. You're expressing that I want to become something better. I want to become what I can see in my head. So then once you transform and become that fit person, that person that's in shape with the six pack or with this and with that, now you can walk those runways and climb those mountains and do all that physical stuff. So you've expressed it through the hard work, and then once you get there and achieve it and you embody it, you are now expressing who you truly are, and you can actually step out and physically express that through the runways and the climbing and things of that nature. So I feel like so many different ways to express yourself. That's just one example. So I feel like artwork was just a very, very cool way, along with many other ways, to just truly express the way that you feel. Like what you cannot put in words, you can put in artwork. And I also feel like it's an icebreaker too, because when you do it, it kind of makes people be like, okay, well, what does this mean? And they want to talk to the artist,
Right.
and they want to know. Because some people, they'll just be deterred and be like, ooh, that don't look right, and walk away. But some people are just like, this is so strange or so weird, like, what does it mean? And then it's kind of like an icebreaker to come up and tell people what it means and what it means to you. And sometimes they can just give people, I mean, that's a good form of communication there, letting it be a icebreaker. But then that can help people to not only see your perspective, and that's something new that they can take home with them and kind of hold something with them in their mind, and brainstorm on that in their spare time. But then also, like, if you may not know, but that person may be going through something similar, so then when you express what your artwork means, then they're able to like, oh, it's not like I'm going through something similar, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a really cool way to just express yourself all together. So I think that's what I love about art. That's what inspires me. What inspires me is how I feel, and then seeing how I feel on a canvas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really cool. So then, and then a lot of times it almost makes me feel like, it's like therapeutic, so it makes me feel like what I've been feeling or what's been weighing on me, like, I just let it all out and put it on that canvas, and now, like, I can breathe again. You know what I'm saying? I can move on to the next thing. So it kind of like, it just helps me get things out as well. So not only is it cool to see my expression painted or drawn, but also it's cool to like remove that from me. And it kind of helps you too as an artist, like when you're doing a lot of like paintings like that, like I guess expressionism, like expressing yourself. Like when you do a lot of artwork like that, it's almost like if you've been holding on to something, because we know, like, you know, prayer, you know, us being like, you know, people who walk by faith and stuff, prayer and things of that nature can help you, but then also as human beings, just here in this natural world, like, it helps to have something that you can, like, okay, let me do this, and like if I'm battling with something, like, if I can do something naturally to go ahead and remove that from my life.
Right.
So it feels like artwork too, when I express that and I put that on the canvas, whatever I've been holding on to and battling with, I've just let that go. And that's on the canvas now, and now I can leave that, and I can feel assured that that part of my life is over with now, and it's on the canvas. And not only can I see it, but other people can see it too, and it's been like let loose to the world pretty much. So that's the greatest part about it. That's what inspires it. Inspire my emotions and inspire it, and the artwork helps me to really just let loose, like, completely.
That's great. And I think that so many people can relate to that. Like, I'm over here nodding my head like, yeah, because whatever form of art it is, whether it's literally painting on a canvas, whether it's writing, if you're creating music, then it is the outer expression of your inward emotions. And so communicating that to people, and, you know, if you are showing your art in some sort of way, exhibiting it, and someone has questions about it, then it gives you a prompt, like you were saying, to be able to be like, oh, hey, maybe at that moment when you were painting, you had no way to get those words out to people. But after it's painted and you're seeing it on the canvas, and someone goes and asks you, what does this mean? Now you've gone through it, you've experienced it, and you can go, this is what this means to me. And so now you're able to express your emotions after the fact. So it's actually really beautiful that you can put those things down on canvas or on paper, or you know, out into the air through music, whatever it is, and you're able to talk about it now. But in that moment when you're experiencing it, or thinking about thoughts of the past, or whatever it is, you might not be able to get it out in that moment, because sometimes you need that time. It's kind of going back to what you were saying about prayer is awesome, and like I believe in that. Like we said, we're people who, you know, we are believers. We believe in God, and so I think that prayer is effective, and um, it can be used in so many ways.
Yeah.
I also think, like you said, we're also humans living in this world right now, and you can pray about something that maybe will happen in the future, or just overall maybe a concept, but in that immediate moment, I think that if you believe in God, you also believe that, or at least I do, that He equips you with tools to be able to live your life and get through moments of doubt and moments of, whatever it is that is affecting you negatively. And so if that means literal tools, literal brush and canvas, and you've got that talent within you to create that, then do it. Like, you're equipped with some sort of talent to get you through life and to be able to figure out what your purpose is and how you can help other people, but also how you can help yourself. And so I love creativity and talking to creative people, and everybody has some sort of creativity within them. Like, people that maybe be like full on math nerds are like, I have no creativity, but it's like, no, it takes creativity to be able to go about solving a problem, because you have to be creative in the way that you're going to solve that problem. So everyone has some sort of creativity, and whatever it is that brings you joy that you can find, using that to your advantage and being able to get you out of rough spots like that, because it's hard trying to comfort somebody who may be going through something negative, or comfort yourself, and just that finding the answer in that is just really, really, I think, really important.
Yeah, definitely. And then piggybacking off what you were saying too, it does help too when you're able to, whatever it is that you use to express yourself. But I know for me personally, with art, once you're able to express that and put that on the canvas, you're addressing the problem. You're addressing whatever it was that was on you. So now, because you've addressed it, it's like you spent more time on it to really think about it, like you're saying. So you're able to express it to someone. So if it was a breakup that I went through and I felt like terrible heartache, and I'm expressing it through my paintings and stuff like that, well, that time that I took, because you got to think about it too, like a painting, the way I do it, I sketch it in a sketchbook first. Then I kind of think over what colors I'm going to use. Then I go to a canvas, I take a pencil and I outline, and I draw it up, very softly on the canvas. And then I got to start adding the colors, go into it, and add the details to the painting. So that takes time, It can take days, weeks, or if you got a big piece, it can take a month or more, So in that time, that's all the time that not only is it like you just drew this piece, but now you're putting in the effort to this piece to have it finally finished. So in all that time spent, you're spending time thinking about what it is that you just painted and why you painted it.
Yeah.
So then the more time you spend with it, that's the more time you're addressing the problem or the situation at hand, and that's more closure that you get, so that when someone does ask you about it, you can properly express yourself in it. And I feel like also when it comes to like physically doing things, because you got to think too, like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. So it's like you can believe and you can pray and you can fast and all those things, but I feel like God is just like that assist to you, but you have to put in some type of work. So if it is something that you're battling with, if it is depression, if it is low self-esteem, if it is anything of that nature, then you can pray about it, but all the tears in the world and, all the prayer in the world can only do half the job. And the other half has to be done physically here in this earth naturally. So if that is you going to therapy, or if that is you find something to express yourself through, or if that is you talking to somebody about it, but like something physically has to be done for you to be able to overcome that. I believe the Bible is instructions, basically showing scenarios of people going through certain situations and how they came out of it, with the faith they have in God, and then also with their physical action, the instructions that, like the Bible's an instruction in itself, but also in the stories in the Bible, it shows God giving those certain people instructions at that time. So they had to physically do something along with their faith, believing in Him, in order for things to come to pass. So I feel like that same thing applies today. So whether it's something that you're going through, there has to be some type of physical action taken that will help you to overcome whatever it is that's fighting you. So because I feel like you definitely should not, if anything we can learn from the Bible is that you're not supposed to be going through the same thing year after year after year after year. So it's supposed to be you going through something, then they being able to express that, being able to use your actions along with your faith to be able to overcome it after you've expressed it. So it's putting it out there to say, hey, it is what it is now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. Like, let's not suppress the feelings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when I pray, like, I feel led not to suppress it. Like, okay, like, I'm not about to sit here and be like, just been a tough time. No, I'm just like, look, hey, you know my heart, whether I suppress it or not. Like, I'm going through this. I got this going on. I'm trying to move past this. This is still on my mind. I'm suffering from this. So then once you put it out there, that's you expressing it. Whether it's through you working out, whether it's through you writing, whether it's through you painting, whatever it is. You've expressed it, so you done laid it out there now. Then after that, now it's the time for us to overcome. So then that's where you got to find something. You got to put in that physical action. So when it comes back to, I use all that to say when it comes back down to us being natural human beings and trying to overcome, then you have to express yourself, and then you have to physically overcome. In the natural, we need something to overcome.
Yeah.
So it's just like if it's me putting that on that painting, or if it's me writing up a story and showing it to somebody and pitching it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, like, you gotta do it, like, along with your faith. And like, I respect all people, all walks of life. So whatever your faith is, but you have to apply something along with that. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that, like I said, once again, it's relatable for anybody, whatever the way that they're approaching faith. But yeah, I think it's just realistic to know that it's not just, all right, I put that in the atmosphere and just gonna leave it there. It's like, okay, well, work has to be done in some sort of way. And when it's something that comes naturally to you, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like you're getting it out, like you're saying, purging.
Exactly.
Well, that actually leads me into my next question. When you were talking about, life growing up, feeling rejected by people and things like that, I know that you kind of classify yourself as a bit of a loner, and I was wondering kind of where that comes from, where that approach to relationships comes from, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's friendships, just people in general that you are around and encounter. How does that work from a communication standpoint, I guess? With being a loner, who are you, and what's your preferred style of communicating with people?
So I think what it is because I feel like there's a difference, because you have loners who you choose to be alone. You prefer your company over the company of other people. And then you have people who are, not to sound rude, but like who are lonely. So those are people who they wish they had company, they wish they had more friends or this, that, and the third, but they just don't have it, and they long for that.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, and I feel like even when people go into like the introvert extrovert thing, I feel like introverts may be more reserved, and then as well they like time by themselves too, more than other people. But with me, I see myself, I think that's where it's the difference, because I'm a loner, because I'm an extrovert. So like if I'm out in public or I'm around people, I'm not afraid to laugh and talk, or be playing around and spill my drink, or you know what I'm saying, or anything crazy and people laughing and all this different stuff. Like, I like to be the life of the party and seem like that, but then I like to just do it by myself, like I'm a one-man show. And then when I go home, I just go home and I'm by myself, and I don't want, like, when I was there and we were having fun and we were doing whatever we were doing, that was us in that moment. Now when it's time for me to go home, it's time for me to go home. So, so you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I feel like being a loner is more so like, it isn't like I'm just like, oh, I'm like, covering a sheet over my head and I'm going into a cave. But it's just like, I can have fun on my own, out and about in public, and I don't care about the opinions of others or anything of that nature. But then I can remove myself from that and come home and be like, okay, I had fun doing whatever, now I'm back home and chilling by myself, and I'm good by myself. So I'm just a super loner in that fact, and I think that all just started from, it's multiple things. Like, I feel like, first off, it being, 4 of us in the house, 4 children, 6 of us in total, parents included, but 4 children, and then out of everybody, all 6 of us, I was the youngest. So then, it'll be times where, this all the rest of the siblings are at school, but I'm still a little kid, so I'm at home by myself. You know what I'm saying, with mama and daddy. Then like it would be times where, you know what I'm saying, everybody's older than me, so what I'm going through, nobody else is going through. Or it would be times where, okay, it's we have, you know, it's two boys, two girls, but our brother is the oldest. Then it's the two girls. Then it's me. So then it's like there may be times where I want to like talk to another guy my age, but like at that time our brother might have been going to college, or you know he was out on his own, so there was just me and the two girls. Then it may be, so it was all these different dynamics when it came to family, where it was always kind of like I was by myself and I was like the youngest and I was the little boy. And then when it came to school, I still at home had siblings that were older. So then my sense of humor was a little more mature than the others. You know what I'm saying? Then especially with Tony being the oldest, when he left to college, then it was just me, you, and April. And then, you know, daddy worked overtime a lot. So then it was just mama. So it was like I was raised around three women. So then even with that, with women maturing faster than men in certain ways with their personality and the way they take on things and just handling things, I matured too real quick.
Yeah.
And so then it would be like some of me and my guy friends, I would still laugh at like stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy at the end of the day, but like so fart jokes and all other stuff like that, crazy stuff, crude humor. But at the same time though, sometimes like it would just be a difference though. It'd be a different vibe. You know, just different aspects. Kind of getting into sports a little later than everybody did. Like middle school, but still a little later. So then even when we were like, you know, in elementary school, like other people might be like diehard Falcons fans, stuff like that. But I didn't know that much about sports. And then I had to like start getting into it and watching it and playing sports. So even me and the guys, there was a little bit of a separation there when it came to like sports and whatnot. And I was just like an artist. So, you know, I cracked jokes and I drew.
Yeah.
And so that was it. So like I could only joke and stuff so far, or talk about so much, so it kind of set me apart. Then, like, being a little chubby kid growing up, so, you know, the girls might like all the other boys in the class, but they be like, I don't like William, but they think I'm funny, though. So it's just like, dang, so you'll laugh at me, but you don't want to date me. So that was kind of like, it kind of separated me, too, from, like, girls growing up when I was younger. So then it was always like, I was kind of just to myself. It just, all these different dynamics made me like, okay, I gotta start encouraging myself because other people won't, and like I have to be there for myself if other people aren't. You know what I'm saying? So it just put me in that like frame of mind, and I really think it was just God saying like you need to spend time with me instead of everybody else like you know are trying to fit in. So I never was the type to try to fit in with any group or anything like that. So I just kind of kept to myself. Like all those dynamics built that up in me. So I think that's another thing that drew me to my art and to really start painting as I got older was just the fact that that was that one thing, like besides God, like that I knew of growing up, like really knew at that time when I was younger, was like that was the one thing I knew was always gonna be there. Like you give me a pen, you give me a pencil, you give me a sheet of paper. If you know, the teacher ain't watching, I'm in the back of the classroom, a desk, I draw on the desk, like anything I can find ways to draw and paint and do all this different crazy art. So it's just like art was the one thing like that can't never leave me. Like I can always find a way. You know what I'm saying? If we were playing with clay in class, I could make little people. If we were like, there's no way you cannot separate me from art. Yeah, it's always gonna be there. So I think that helped too. Like with being a loner, like that was my one go-to thing I could always have that I knew was always stable, was always there. And so really, yeah, it was just those dynamics that pushed me into like being there for myself more so. And so it was just like I just never really needed that. Like I don't need like I don't need a push. You know what I'm saying with things like it also encouraged me to become like a real critic when it comes to myself. Like I'm my biggest critic, like because I pretty much put myself in a mindset where I was the only one watching me and my actions. So then also it made me more accountable of my actions. I can say that for sure. I know spirituality too, but myself too. Like I know if I'm not doing something that's right, or I know if that's not the best I could have did that. You know, because I was there for myself so much up here mentally. Like I will critique myself like a stranger walking down the street. Like that painting don't look right. You know what I'm saying? That outfit don't look right. Or, you know what I'm saying? Anything of that nature, I can critique myself in that way because I was always there for me. That's what it feels like in my mind. So that's what really just pushed me, those dynamics, like being a little chubby kid, being you know what I'm saying, my group of guy friends, you know, like the girls not really liking me like that, you know, till I got older. And I knew how to like handle myself in certain ways, you know what I'm saying? It's like picked up my style a little bit, you know what I'm saying, found myself more and all those things, like, you know, start getting into sports to get my weight right and all that different stuff. So, and then even up to now, like leading into like the end of 2018, turning vegan. So I've been eating plant based ever since. So yeah, so just I found my way with a lot of stuff, and I just took my time with me and God to really, you know what I'm saying, work on those different things. So I think like my faith is a big part, but of course it took me getting older to realize that it was God that was speaking to me in certain situations. So really, a lot of my youth, I just thought it was me. I just credited everything to myself. I was like, oh no, I told myself that. I did it. I feel like that's everybody until you realize, like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Something's telling me to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that's how I pretty much got into that loner thing. I think that's the best way to describe it, is that like I'm an extrovert, but I'm good by myself. So I feel like I'm still able though, like whether it come to family and stuff. I feel like I'm still, because I am social, I'm still able to. We can come together as a group. You know what I'm saying? The siblings or with parents stuff, and I can talk. And I can have fun. I don't feel like y'all go ahead. I'm just chilling in my room. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good socializing with everybody else. But then once it's coming down to the end of the night or whatever we're doing is over, then I can go ahead and part ways, and I feel like or whatever. Also, I feel like when it comes to friendships, I've always been kind of like your last video. You saying like you and Jasmine were able to spend time apart, but then y'all come back together and pick up like last time. So it's the same with me when it would be friendships. Like I would be able to be apart for a long time, come back together and just pick back up because you know what I'm saying. I'm fine on my own. I don't take anything to heart because I've formed that in me where it's like I don't take that to heart. Like I'm just. You know what I'm saying, that you don't want to talk right now. You don't want, because I'm by myself anyway. So it's just like I let people go ahead and do their thing. Then when they want to come back and we want to talk or whatever, then we can. We can pick up on it. And just in that, I also learned how to like control emotions and different things of that nature as well. So where because I don't want it to be where I'm in a dark place. You know what I'm saying, when I'm by myself or removing myself from a crowd. It's just that I had to come with the realism or the realism that like these people aren't gonna be here every day of my life all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to be able to know that okay, we had a fun day, but now it's time for me to go home. I gotta get some rest. I gotta make sure that I'm healthy. I gotta make sure I'm right. Or you know what I'm saying, anything of that nature, you know. So it just I had to find that balance too emotionally. Like I can't rely on just one person for all my happiness. I can't rely on just one person for fun. Like I have to be able, if you can't make it, I still got to be able to have a good time. I still got to be able to enjoy my life on my own. So I think that helped me a lot too. So if there's a friend that like can't make it or can't hang out for 2 weeks or a month or something like that, then it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm fine by myself and I don't take that to heart. And I'm not like trying to like build up some wall where it's like, it's fine, you don't gotta hang out with me, I'll be good. But no, it's just like for real, like I'm okay. Like I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I have joy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I am fulfilled. So it's just like you're an addition to my joy, but you are not my joy. I have joy on my own. So with relationships, it's kind of different. With that one, it's a little deeper because you're gonna be with somebody that's around you more than a friend is. So that took some adjusting, like having to become a boyfriend, and then also not really having experience with that. Cause like I would say like real relationship was probably when I was like 18.
Yeah.
So, it was like having to adjust to becoming someone's boyfriend who's going to be there and they're gonna always be there for me, and I have to keep in contact with this person and all these different responsibilities that come with it.
Yeah.
So that was an adjustment. Then it's like I got the hang of it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to be like the best boyfriend I could be, and I started trying to be that. But then also it was just like being young, being naive. I had like hit all these different stumbling blocks and stuff like that, and learn from them. So it was tough with relationships where it kind of did push me back into like a more like I'm a loner, get away type thing where I started feeling like okay, don't want a relationship. I don't want this, that, and third. But at the same time, I mean, like, it's just different. Being a loner and then being in a relationship is different. Because either it's like, I feel like it's going to be, sometimes I can kind of be an extremist. Like, I can be like all the way one way, all the way the other. So it's like either I'm just want to be a loner and I don't feel like being bothered, or if I'm dating somebody that's like, I don't know, I just want to be dating. But, or if it's like, or if I'm dating somebody and I'm in a relationship, it's like, I'm all the way in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't really kick it with nobody. Like, I'm by myself. I do my own thing. So, first off, for me to see enough potential and enough of whatever in you to want to pursue you and want to make you a part of my life constantly, that's big to me. That means, like, and I guess in my head, it's like, I want that person to know, like, that, like, I assume they know that already. Because, like, I'm a loner and you see how I am. So, for me to be dating you, that tells you that I like you enough that I'm willing to basically not be a loner to allow you in. So then it's like, I just give everything. And then it's just like, I'm always there. We always hanging out. We always doing this. We always doing that. And then, typically, of course, when it's too much, unless it's two people, like, and you better thank God. But if y'all both are like loners, and then y'all both are just like, we don't care about nobody else but each other, and then it's like, y'all can have a smooth relationship. But when it's like, you're the loner and that other person is more of a social butterfly, like you, but they like to stay that way with a large group of people all the time. Even when they come back home, oh, y'all come over to my house, and that too. Then it's just like, oh God, because then it's like, now it's two different worlds clashing. You know what I'm saying? Or they want to always go out with this person, that person, always hanging out, and they want to spend basically less time with you. Because they're not a loner like you. So it's just like, it's different, and it's kind of hard to work with. I mean, you can make it work, but you know what I'm saying? Because they will compromise and all that stuff come into play. But I think that's like the biggest part about a relationship. Relationships are the one thing that it is kind of like hard battling with being a loner, because it's okay when you're with your family, because like, if anything, your family know you best, you know what I'm saying, it's blood. So you can be around them, hang out, whatever, and you feel comfortable, and you can do whatever. Then, when that time comes to an end, then, you go to your room, or you go back home, or whatever it is. So you can kind of chill out with that. Then when it comes to friends, like, first off, like, whether it's a good friend or not, but they're not blood. You know what I'm saying? They don't go home with you at the end of the night. Unless it's like roommates or something. But we saying, like, in general, for real. Like, they don't go home with you. They don't pay your bills. They don't, do all this stuff like blood. So then it's like, it's different. So they can go their way and you can go yours. And it's cool. Or if you know what I'm saying, you and your friends just grow apart. You know what I'm saying? Because that happened to me. Like, I don't think I haven't hung with anybody since 2013. So it's like, I just grew apart from friends. So it's just like, I keep to myself and just do my own thing. I have fun. I enjoy my life. But just those things don't really affect you. But when it comes to a relationship, it's just like different. Because it's like, that person is a part of your life, and you all are basically both in it because you all believe that long term they're going to be in your life. So it's like, now this is somebody who's in your life and is not leaving, like family, but they're not family. So then it's just like finding that balance and trying to figure that out as a loner. I think that's one aspect that's kind of challenging, but that's kind of how I pretty much basically turned into a loner growing up, and then that's how I handle it, and that's my view on it. And then when it comes to relationships, family's cool, friends cool, relationships is a challenging one as a loner. But yeah, so extrovert, have fun out in public, do this and the third, but come back home and be straight by myself and be fine.
Yeah, and I think with relationships, it comes down to having a healthy balance, because I've seen a lot of examples, whether it's in my real life or just like reading about people expressing that they may be more introverted and the partner is extroverted, or the other way around. It's typically from that point of view of the introvert, and they're saying like, oh, well, this person's more extroverted, but we balance each other out in these ways, because maybe you're like, no, I'm gonna stay home and just do this, and they're like, no, you need to go out, and it kind of like forces the other person to compromise in
Yes.
some sort of way, like you were saying. So I think if you can find the right balance of personalities, then it'll work. But sometimes it can be a lot, because I'm an introvert too, and like I like extroverts. I saw online somewhere that they said that introverts they don't make friends with extroverts. Extroverts just adopt them, and I was like, it's kind of true in different situations that I've been in. Friends that I've had, associates, they just kind of are like, hey, we're hanging out now, and you're like, oh, okay, this is happening. And it's fine, but it's just finding the right personality, because it can be a lot. It can be draining, and and going back to relationships, and to your point about it having to be the right person. I know with me, I'm the same way with like a relationship. Like I can be lazy, and I don't like doing the work in the beginning of the process, like having to find that person and having to get to know the person and their quirks and their likes and dislikes. All of it makes me tired, just the thought of it. And it's like, yes, once you get to that point and it's smooth and y'all are fine with each other, but just like building up to that, it's a lot, and it can make you feel on both extremes. You're like all in with this relationship. I'm with this person for years, and just do what I was gonna say, whatever within reason for that person, because you're just like, okay, this is love being exchanged, and like just hey, I'm willing to do these things for you, or being like, I'm not in a relationship and I'm not interested right now, because it's too much time, too much of a commitment, and it's like I could have 24 hours to do what I choose to do, or I can dedicate that time to somebody else and based upon what they want to do. Like, which one sounds more appealing?
Exactly. Like, stay home and pocket my money, or I gotta keep this person entertained, and all this different stuff. So let's go out. And then it's like, okay, now I don't want to blow my money. Well, now I gotta put effort into looking for free events, or looking for something fun that's like not free, but not blowing my bank account out of the water. So it's all types of stuff. And it's just like,
yeah. So finding the right balance is the right person, and in the right time, what works out for you.
Yeah, definitely.
We sound like two grouches, two grumpy people. Like, like, well, they'll be single forever. But you're like, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Now I know you said it before, but like, it really hit me in this moment. And you said you hadn't hung out with anybody since 2013, and I'm a little worried. Can you clarify? Like, you've had relationships since then, and there have been people that have like. You've gone to like birthday parties and kind of been around people, but I guess you meant like nobody that you've been close to on a consistent basis, and been like, we're hanging out each day or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely. So I had relationships within that time. So I've been in a couple of relationships, and I go do stuff with them, or hang out with the siblings and stuff like that. But as far as like a close friend, what I'm saying, just me and the people who I grew up with, we just outgrew one another, what I'm saying? So I just found this, like, it just came to a point where I was just like, I gotta go ahead and just separate myself and go ahead and work on me. Excuse me, because I didn't really see myself, like, I didn't see myself growing, what I'm saying, continuing to stay in the same circle, being quite honest. And I feel like that's one thing too, being a loner, like I said, it was more time spent with myself and more time being accountable for different things. So I feel like in that I had to go ahead and realize like whether or not I was growing or not with whoever I was around, whoever I was hanging around. So if I seen like I'm not growing, like they just like do this, do that, and I just basically like tag along with them, like what I'm saying? Like a lot of times it didn't. Because me being on my own, not just being a loner making me feel like a leader, but it was just something in me. I always knew, like, I'm different. I'm a leader. What I'm saying? I'm not a follower. So then when I would hang with the people and I would just be tagging along with the stuff that they're doing, it's like there's nothing being brought of this stuff that we're doing. There's nothing we're gaining from this. I start to feel like a follower because I was like, okay, well, I have all this leadership in me and these dreams and goals and stuff, but I'm tagging along with people that are doing nothing. I'm saying? It's like a king sitting amongst mice. I just went,
Peasants.
yeah, but for real, I was like, I'm like a king who's not worthy, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt like. And so I was just like, okay, something got to change. Like, I'm outgrowing this different stuff. And not to downplay them, like, you know, they were on their own separate journeys. But I was just growing at a different rate. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has a moment in life whether it's like you losing your job, or you lose a scholarship, or you don't get into that college, or you wreck that car at a very like bad point in your life where you needed that transportation. Whatever it is, you go to jail, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, how harsh it can get for people.
Yeah.
But everybody has that go through based upon the type of lifestyle they live or where they're headed with their lifestyle. So if you're making the wrong decisions, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, it can lead to something like, you know, going to jail and doing this and doing that. Or, you know what I'm saying, whether it's just being, you know, kind of like not really being, like not really thinking about what you're doing and then getting in a car accident. So doing this or doing that. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, then I feel like everybody has their go through in life, but your go through is going to come at whatever point with your particular journey. So with mine, I was just growing at a different rate, and I was going through my go-throughs, and I just seen that I'm just not where I need to be with the people that I'm hanging with. So then I just told myself, I got to go ahead and separate myself. And I feel like in being accountable too, you got to know as well, be real with yourself. If you know it's time for a change, you got to go ahead and make that change. And it's going to be uncomfortable. Yep. You're going to have the friends that's still hitting you up and like, hey, you want to hang out? And you got to be like, nah, I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to do this and do that, or I'm busy. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's going, like, anytime you got to make a change in your life that's really going to change your life, it's going to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there are forces fighting against you that don't want you to go in that other direction.
Right.
So it's going to be people still trying to hit you up. It's going to be people telling you that you changed. It's going to be other people who aren't even in the situation, right, who are going to be like, oh, you know what? I know. I remember like somebody trying to tell me, I think them girls, y'all used to be dating stuff. I think they divided you from you and who you used to be hanging with. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, it wasn't them. It was me growing apart. But so it's just like people from the outside will even say things or have an opinion on it. But you have to just like, you just gotta go through it. You gotta let people talk. You gotta let people just whatever they gotta do, let them do it. Because at the end of the day, like their words aren't gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying, in regards to my actions. Like, I'm going to continue to grow. So it's going to be uncomfortable. Just know that. Like, if you are trying to make a change, it is going to be uncomfortable. There's nobody who was like, I'm dropping everybody I hang with and I'm moving on. And then it just happened like that and you moved on. Like, no, I grew apart. And I had to be uncomfortable. People confronted me about things. People were like, why are you not hanging with me? Why are you da-da-da? But I had to make that change for myself. So I outgrew people and I made that change and I transitioned, and then I transitioned into a beast. No, I'm just like, but I transitioned and then
into your true form.
Yeah, but so then people, you know, I let go of a lot of people, and then in that, thankfully, thank God, I had myself and God fall back on, but then also I had family. So that's the biggest thing. So it's different for me. I can't speak for everybody's situation because for me, it was okay for me not to hang with any friends or whatever since 2013 because I have my siblings. My siblings are my friends. And you know, these are people I grew up with who know me best, and we all have similar lifestyles because we were raised on the same roof. So it was like, with that, it's okay for me not to hang with other people since 2013 because I got my best friends at home. Mm-hmm. And then I dated a couple girls, so then it was just like, you know, I had them, you know what I'm saying, to go out with and stuff. Then also with my siblings, I had events and stuff to do too. So it was just always something to do. So, like, I don't know, it's just, that's my lifestyle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're always doing something. Yeah. The siblings, mom and dad, everybody, like, we're always doing something to where it's like, or I always got stuff here, whether it's errands I got to run, stuff I got to take care of for myself, or whether it's new ventures I'm getting into. Right. It's always something that, you know what I'm saying, needs my time and attention. So it's never like, I'm just not hanging out with anybody. I'm stuck in the house. I'm in the cave. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's like my lifestyle calls for me to always be on go doing something. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't any weird thing. And then I just want to say, I guess, to anybody out there who may not have those siblings or are close to their siblings or anything like that, it sounds cliche, but you do have God, you do have your faith, and then not only is it just like you're trying to believe in basically this entity, this spirit, this being that you cannot see, but also like you're believing in him because he can instill in you who you truly are. So then that way it's like you get the best of both worlds. You get to get and feel him introducing to you who you are. And then once you become who you are and you're solid, naturally you got yourself to lean on. You have like firm ground. You're good. But then also spiritually, you can rely back on God. So if you have to separate yourself from people because God instilled in you who you are, separating yourself, you're fine on your own. And because you took time to spend with God to figure out who you are, through that you found joy, and joy is to just be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So you don't lack anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's food in the fridge. There's transportation of some sort, whether it's a bus, whether it's your car, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so you are fulfilled on a day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you feel like you want, how you want to live future tense, we're talking about right now, you're fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Spending that time with God. And so he's helping you so that naturally you can stand on firm ground. Like, you're good. But then also you having a relationship with him that's somebody you can turn to. You know what I'm saying? For the time being. And then remember, whatever the desires of your heart are, he knows. So if you want friends and you want to have this cool lifestyle and all this different stuff, pray about it. But again, faith without works is dead. So put yourself in surroundings where you will be able to socialize. And it don't have to be the club. It don't have to be some super crazy thing where you all the way out there. Like, you could do like the painting classes. Go do a painting class. You know what I'm saying? One night. And then when you do the painting class, then, somebody there and they painting too, just spark a conversation. You never know. You know what I'm saying? It can be all types of things. Go to like an arcade. Go bowling. Bowl by yourself. And then the person to the next lane, maybe they'll talk to you. Whatever. It's so many random ways. Because also you got to think about, if you left certain people behind, whether they were in a relationship or a friendship, like a romantic relationship or a friendship, if you're going out to make more friends or to get into a different relationship, you want to make sure you're meeting the kind of people who are going to stay in your life, who you'll want to be in your life and be a positive influence.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go to the club with people. If I'm not a clubber and they're clubbers, I'm just doing that for the benefit of gaining some friends, but that's not me. So now every time they go to the club, because they're clubbers, I don't always want to go. And there's a certain lifestyle that comes with that. Mm-hmm. So you got to find your crowd. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. If that's your desire to have friends, pray about it and go find your crowd. If you see that you're in a setting like that, you can't just pray, God, give me a bunch of friends that aren't like this. They're better. They got money in their pockets. They're accomplishing their goals and living out their dreams. And then he's just going to drop you with those people because you yourself have not yet grown. So you have to separate yourself from them. And you have to evolve into the person that you're trying to surround yourself with. So the people you surround yourself with need to reflect who you are. Birds of a feather flock together. And I think that is one good part about being alone, because like, baby, I reflect myself. So it's like, so it's just like, you look at me, this everything you getting. And I'm so loud about who I am. I'm going to tell those jokes in those situations that it might not be appropriate to tell a joke. I'm going to go there with my jokes. I'm going to show you my tattoo. I'm going to, dress however I'm trying to dress. Like, so that's who he is. Yeah. And then even when it comes to who I make as friends, well, you got to see who I am. And I'm going to express my faith. I'm going to do all this different stuff. So you got to see who I am and first. And if you don't like it, it's going to deter you, so you're going to move away. But then those who are like me are going to flock to me. So then birds of a feather flock together, so we are one. But definitely too, if you're in a group too and you're saying, I want to separate myself from these people and I want to get my life together and build a better relationship with God, and then after that I want to gain more friends to hang out with, like if you aren't a loner and you want to do that, I encourage that. But I'm just saying, be accountable and know that there's a reason why you're hanging with the people that you're hanging with. You find comfort in that group of friends,
Right.
in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to remove yourself from it, and then you have to address what it was that made you hang with those people. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that you weren't like them, but you were just afraid to say no? It's just hard for you to say no, or you feel bad letting go of friendships,
Mm-hmm.
letting go of toxic people. If that's it, that's something you got to address.
Yeah.
Because then you might be hanging out with a ton of people that aren't nothing like you, but you're just basically compromising just because you hate to hurt somebody's feelings and say, I can't hang with you. So whatever it is, something puts you in that predicament. So now it's time for you to remove yourself from it, address the issue, work on that issue, and pray as well while working on that God bring the right type of people in your lifestyle, into your life, you know what I'm saying, for a better lifestyle. And I feel like in that as well, like if people start coming at you, but you know, like it seemed like it's about to be a good friendship, but they remind you of the people you used to hang out with, just don't even. You know what I'm saying? just go ahead and move on. Just know, like, this reminds me too much of the old thing. Like, I can't do this again. You know, because I feel like stuff like that will happen, like stumbling blocks when you're trying to become a better you as
Right.
well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'll be people that look like they fit the
Right.
image, whether it's a romantic relationship or
Right.
whatever. Then you start to, like, you can't fool yourself. You got to stay open-minded, stay real, like, have clarity and really look at the situation. You know what I'm saying? And be like, I can't fool myself.
Yeah.
You might be cool, but you're too much like so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? Remove yourself. But I definitely believe you got to remove yourself, address the situation, work on that, pray for better friends, and move on and get that. But me, myself, I'm cool because I got my friends, I got my family. If you don't, then rely on yourself and God, build that joy, be fulfilled, and then pray for a better support system. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with everything you were saying. I think that it made a lot of sense what you were saying about that idea of compromise, because that was what was kind of coming to my mind as you were talking, and you were saying, okay, if I'm hanging out with a certain group of people and they seem like they're so different than I am, but we're still remaining friends, it's like, what is it that's keeping me there? And I think a lot of the times it is you're compromising because you think in order to be a friend, I know a lot of times that's where I'm coming from with friendships, is like you want to be able to accommodate that person and meet their needs. And so maybe it's not something that you actively do in your life, whatever their habits may be, but you're like, hey, I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to be a friend to you. And so in trying to offer your friendship and your care to them, you end up maybe running alongside them, and maybe going down a path that you didn't intend to go down.
Yeah.
And so that happens, and it's like, oh, okay, and it almost like overtakes it. So you didn't initially intend to live life in whatever manner, but then that ends up happening, and it starts influencing you more rather than you being the influence, I guess, the good influence. It doesn't make anybody less than if they're struggling with like substance abuse or something along those lines, but I think in those situations, it's kind of up to you. You, as the friend, you kind of take on that responsibility of being the one to say, hey, maybe we can go in a different direction. Like, this is affecting you negatively. Like, you know, you're not functional anymore. And this is, you know, having a terrible effect on you. And I don't want to keep seeing you go through this. So whether it's like substances, whether it's, you know, even someone going through depression, and it's like, what can we do to get you help? What can we do to be a resource? If the most that you can do is be a listening ear, do that and like be that for that person. But don't feed into it and the person's depressed and you're like, yeah, me too, and let's just sit in it and experience it. And like that is a tough subject, something like depression, because you do have to in some ways like go through it and then, you know, get past it, because it affects you in all kinds of ways. But what I mean is approach it from a healthy standpoint and not like, this is just who I am and this is what how I'm gonna continue to go about it. Yeah, don't let it define you. If you can find ways to have healthy outlets, talk to people, talk to a therapist. If it's drugs that you have to take, like prescription drugs that you have to take to balance, like, oh, delicately, you have to take drugs. If you have to take medication that's gonna balance things out, then whatever it is that you have to, do to address it, then do that. But in terms of friendships, being a good friend to somebody by taking on that responsibility, because now if you think about it, you're taking on, you are affecting someone else's life.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Not to cut you off, I was gonna say, and then
But
also,
you did.
I was just about to say, but seriously, it's like you went, like, if you're around people like that, I feel like it's two things that go with this as well. When you're around people that are basically doing negative things, then I feel like, first off, the more you just continue to go with the flow, you're making their behavior acceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Enabling them.
Yeah. And so it's almost like they say birds of a feather flock together, and I feel like it's not necessarily, like I was saying before, like you're doing what they're doing, but you become numb to it. Now you start to become accepting of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even if it's something as simple as, two guy friends, and one of the guy friends is faithful to his girlfriend, but the other guy friend is like this bachelor, and he just be cheating with all these different girls. Well, like he has a girlfriend, but he's cheating on her with like a ton of other girls. You know that he is, but you're constantly like rolling around him to these different girls' houses. You're constantly doing this and doing that. You are making it more acceptable to him. He feels like, because you are not saying anything, that he's right. He's okay. Like he's in good standing. Then also, it starts to become accepting to you, because now you are not, you're trying to like overlook it and just go with the flow, but now you're rolling with him while he's taking these actions, and you're just like, hey, well, that's what so and so does. So now you're becoming accepting of that. So now if you meet another friend and they do the same thing, in your head, well, so and so did that, so this person doing it ain't no different, like whatever, and you just go with it. And so now you start to become accepting to that, even if you aren't yourself actually doing it as well. But that can be a dangerous, concoction, because in the future, then, you may hit a really rough patch in your relationship, and you then sat there with all those different people and seen like nothing bad happened to them. And so then you go out and do it, and then I don't know, you have a baby out of it,
right,
or you catch an incurable disease, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Or you come back to the person, your partner find out, and then I don't know, they lash out against you, and they can end all types of ways.
Yeah.
So then also I feel like a lot of times too, sometimes you have to pay close attention to your stance in life and your relationship with God, because sometimes I feel like He will plant you in positions to create a change in other people's lives. So do not wreck that opportunity to pull somebody out of a negative position by going along with what they are doing. If you are surrounded by people who are suffering from low self-esteem or depression or something like that, be that ear to them. You know what I'm saying? And feel for them, empathize for them, and be there for them. But then also, slowly but surely, start finding different ways to help them to realize who they are, who they truly are. You know what I'm saying? If it's you suggesting y'all go see a movie, there's an uplifting movie. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's you putting them on to an artist who has positive songs, about self-love and stuff. Whether it's you treating them to days where you guys take care of yourselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or showing them a place that you eat that's healthy, or going to the gym with them. Like, be that difference. Or if it's the people suffering from substance abuse or whatever it is, be around them. If they saying, hey, I think I want to go to the bar tonight. Well, hey, I don't really want to go to the bar. Why don't we check out this one place? It's a place uptown where they got go-karts and stuff. Even only sometimes if you got it like that, and it's working out in your favor, you like offer to pay. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're like, I want to go do this. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, let's go do this. It's on me. So things of that nature. So be the light to those people. Shine through. Let them follow you, because everyone's a leader. It's just about those who know they're leaders and those who don't know. And the ones who do know, you're put in settings to allow those around you to realize who they are and that they're leaders, and they rise up. So we're just leaders leading other people into their leadership. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? That's where purpose and all that stuff come into play. But that kind of just fell off of me talking about being a loner in my not hanging with nobody for so long, but why it worked for me. But then also letting people know too, though, that if you aren't a loner, you know what I'm saying, and you're just trying to separate yourself and then come into better friendship, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But just be wise with the people you're around, and remember, in order for you to get a healthy group of friends, you have to be a healthier you before stepping into a healthier group of friends. So it's not gonna happen like a magic trick where you lose all the bad friends and get the good ones, because there are things in you that you have to work on before you can get that good group of friends. You know, that core group of friends that you really actually need.
Yep.
But yeah.